In Vedanta, there are three principles that you must be aware of. It is not necessary that you accept any of the principles of Vedanta if you don't understand it, if it doesn't make you feel comfortable till you have thought about it and understood it. You don't have to accept it at the face of it. This is the courage of truth. Only truth can speak like this. Challenge me. Only truth can speak like this. Falsehood will not go and invite people to challenge itself. Because it knows if it's challenged, it will get defeated. But Vedanta is such a truth, it's fearless. The people of Vedanta are called Vedanta Kesari. Vedanta Kesari means the lions of Vedanta. They have no fear, like a lion roams around in the forest without any fear. Whereas the fox and the other little animals, they're always worried. They're always fearful. Lion has no fear. So those who learn Vedanta become like lions. In the sense, within themselves there is no fear. And Ashtavakra tells this very nicely in his Ashtavakra Gita at some point in time. He says, Nirvasanam harim drushta, by seeing the lion who is desireless, Vedanta will teach you to be desireless at the end. Because all desires will be fulfilled when you are yourself God. Where is any more desire left for you? When that kind of lion is seen, tushnim vishayadantinaha, all the elephants of your senses and the mind become quiet. Just like when a lion enters the jungle, all the elephants become quiet. That is the power of Vedanta. Some of you have felt that all these are nice to hear, but I'm still struggling with my basics, my mind, my senses, my thoughts, my emotions. When is that all this is going to be applicable to me? You have to remember, you have to have faith that all this is true. Now you use your logic to understand whether it is true or not. Of course, it cannot be understood by the logic, but because we are, so to say, we have got a logical or a rational mind, at least to some extent logic helps us. And beyond that, you have to drop the logic and get into experience. So there are three pillars of Vedanta based on this. The first one is Shruti, or the śāstrapramāṇa we call it. Shruti means all that which is written in the scriptures. It's also called śāstrapramāṇa, the things that are described in the scriptures. Shastra, Pramana, whatever has been said over there. That is the first step. So that is what we are doing right now. We are trying to understand Shruti, we are trying to understand the śāstrapramāṇa. The second part is called Tarka or Yukti. Tarkavāda or Yukti. Yukti means you use your brains now. Just don't listen and accept it. Now use your brains to understand whether what is being said is true or not. Swami says you are not just the body. There are 5 things within you, not one. Now you think for yourself. Sit down and think, am I 5 or am I just 1? And slowly you will start, as you keep discriminating, like the sun. The ray of the sun looks one color or colorless. But when it passes through a prism, it splits into several colors. Then only you realize these many colors existed within the ray of the sun. Similarly, within us exist these layers, these different faculties exist. That you will come to know with a little more logic. Body is there, then there is prana is there, prana and mana is there. Mana, within that there is a vijnana, or the discriminating buddhi is there. Within vijnana there is an experiencing thing is there. The experiences get stored there. And beyond that is my existence. I am all of this, yet I am none of this. Like many pictures on the screen is all the pictures, yet screen is none of the pictures. So you'll not just get it like this. You heard it and you said, yes, I have understood. No, you have not understood. In Kathopanishad, the teacher teaches the disciple. So he gives 5 examples. It is that which mind cannot think of, but by which mind thinks. It is that which ears cannot hear, by which ears hear. It is that which eyes cannot see, but by that eyes get to see. It is that which tongue cannot taste, but that tongue only speaks or tastes. Like that he gives example. Electricity, computer, hardware, clock, time. All this is just at the logic level, at the level of tarka, the second step of Vedanta. Only it is tarka or yukti level. Third level is there, which is called Anubhava, or the experience. your own experience of the truth. Till then your education is not complete. You have learned the scriptures, you have read and understood the meaning of the shlokas as it is to be understood, very good. Second, you applied certain applied logic. Am I one or am I five? Am I the sixth one? Am I the whole? Am I part? All these logics you apply. Say probably what Swami says is true, that there are 5 parts to me. If I clearly demarcate them, carefully I demarcate them, I can see there are 5 things. The body that I think I am, the prana which runs the body, a life force. Beyond that is a mind which thinks. Beyond that is a buddhi which discriminates. Beyond that there is an experience of whatever I do through this body, mind, prana and buddhi. There is an experience. So if I carefully segregate, there are 5, like a light passing through the prism reveals that there are 7 different aspects to it, Vibgyor. Like that you understand that you have several aspects to your personality. You are just not one. You look like a one whole, but there are several aspects. And beyond that is your true existence, that which contains all the 5. That is also you, like the screen that contains all the pictures. And ultimately you realize that alone is you. All the other things are not you, because all the other things came when you were born in this earth. And once you die, all the other things will disappear. So do you disappear after this? Nayamasti iti chayike. This is the question Nachiketa asked in the beginning. These 5 exist, I understand, but I am supposed to be the 6th one, or I am the only one. What is the truth? Am I the 6th one containing all the 5, or am I the one without any 5? Am I the screen? Am I the pictures? Am I a screen and the pictures? Is either or is it all? These are the questions Nachiketa was troubled with. He was not able to understand that question, and that is why he came to Yama, because he said, you alone know this, you alone know the truth. I know it for sure. Of course, you are trying to tempt me with all kinds of things. So this Panchakosha Viveka is easily, logically, I can explain, you can understand. But you have to do your own svānubhava. By continuous mananam, sitting and thinking about this one thought, it will slowly reveal itself. Like a flower opens its petal by petal it opens. Like this bud which is there, the idea that has got inside you, it will only open with constant thinking about it. Walking, talking, eating, sleeping. Am I fun? Am I 5? Am I 6? Am I the only one? Keep thinking. That thought will reveal itself to you slowly. So Vedanta is learned like this. By borrowed money, nobody becomes rich man. Many people borrow money, buy car, houses. Did they become really rich? Look at the outside, they may look rich. Inside they all know this is all loaned, borrowed stuff. I have to repay all these things. I am not really rich. So till this level, śāstrapramāṇa and the tarka, it's a borrowed money. You really have not become rich in Vedantic knowledge. This is borrowed knowledge. When will it become your own knowledge? With Anubhava alone, it will become your knowledge. That is the time when you have really become rich. Otherwise, you are only a person who has borrower here. That our knowledge is still not yours. It still belongs to the Kathopanishad, it still belongs to the Rishi there, it still belongs to Nachiketa, it still belongs to Adi Shankara. But it does not belong to you. Only it becomes yours when you have experienced that knowledge. So far, whatever you have learnt, the idea that the world is temporary, therefore Nachiketa asks for higher things. This knowledge should become yours. It means you should feel like that here onwards. Yes, I do understand world is temporary, but then what is wrong in getting a watch and a phone and a little car and then a little house and then you have not understood this. At the logic level, it has remained. Yes, logic is there, of course, that so many people are born, they die, they get things, they become happy, next day they become unhappy, the new desire emerges, they fulfill the new desire, they become happy, third day another desire comes, and life goes on. So you have observed this, you have used the logic. But when you apply the logic on yourself, that's when Anubhava begins. But Anubhava is when you apply and try to understand within yourself. That third step is the most important. That is also, you can say, Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam, another way of putting it. Shravanam means whatever is said, Shruti, heard, you hear it. Then Mananam, Tarka, sit down and meditate on that idea, give logic, argue within your head. Try to get some sense out of it. Don't simply accept it. Adi Shankara said, don't simply accept it, ask questions. And then finally, he comes to say that you understand it through your own experience. So whatever you have learned so far, I have not even started on the Atma Vidya side. We have only understood a few things, like we should be observant, we should be Shraddhavan, like Nachiketa, we should not get angry in certain situations, we should try to see what is the opportunity in adversity, and then go and not just think about ourselves, we should ask about everybody else's welfare, and then even those who have done wrong to us, we should be compassionate and kind to them. And from there, Nachiketa's perseverance and determination to know the truth, and nothing less than that. And from there, Nachiketa's ability to discriminate between temporary and permanent, and choosing the permanent over the temporary, Shreya over the Preyo, that ability. From there, we go further to understand that Yama has also agreed that this is the right method and there is no other method. He fools us by giving us all kinds of worldly things so that we are bound by him, and he continues to do his job. And then finally, Yama explains that all this logic of Brahman does not make sense. So then why this second step of logic? Because logic is to understand that logic is not enough. And experience is required beyond this. That is why logic has to be understood. If you want to know what is a sweet, you should also know it is not salty. Otherwise, next time something is given salty, how will you know how to define? So you know both the things of life. If you don't know cold, you don't know what is heat. If you don't know darkness, you don't know what is light. If you don't know sickness, you don't know what is health. If you don't know sorrow, you don't know what is happiness. Likewise, unless you get the logic, you will never know that this logic is not enough for this. So that's why the second step in Vedanta is to get the logic right. Go logically, one step by step by step. But logic alone will not let you know this. Logic will tell you only intellectual understanding, like borrowed money with which you have gone and bought a car. You are really not the owner of the car. The car is on a loan, like that this knowledge is on a loan. Till when? Till logic level. When it becomes experience level, then the car becomes yours. Then you have paid off the loan, and now you are owning the car truly. Like that, unless you experience this logic, there is no point. Your education, your knowledge is not complete. It is still borrowed knowledge from the books. But Vedanta is so confident. Shankaracharya is so confident. Vivekananda is so confident. He says, ask, demand answers, argue, debate. Vedanta is so confident that it can answer any question, provided you have an open mind, not a closed mind. You have only come to prove that you are right and everybody else is wrong. Then nobody can help you. Sattva buddhi should be there. Pure buddhi should be there. Then your efforts will be paying off. You will understand the knowledge through your experience. So the third step is the experience, Anubhava. These are the three pillars of Vedanta, like the tripod. First is the śāstrapramāṇa, second is tarkavāda or yukti, shruti, yukti, and then Anubhava, svānubhava, by your own understanding, or we call it aparoksha anubhava, by your own direct experience of the knowledge. Fire is hot, everybody says it, but till you have gone and put your finger, you never completely know that it is hot. Even a child has been taught by the parents, see, this is fire, shruti, shastra. Then, second thing, it is hot. Why it is hot? See, water is boiling on the fire, that is why it is hot. But the child is not convinced, because it has not experienced the heat of the fire for its own. So even though mother says fire is hot, water boils on it and don't go near it, yet what the child will do? Somewhere, some point in time, with a candle, with a matchstick, with a flame, with something, everybody has burnt. Now we all know what it is to be burnt by fire. So then only the knowledge that fire is hot and it burns becomes yours. Till then the knowledge belongs to your mother. The day you put your finger in the fire, that is when it gets burnt, and then you know this is painful, this is burning sensation. Likewise, all the knowledge of Vedanta that you have achieved so far in terms of knowing what is right, what is wrong, and also logically applying that, yes, whenever I chose the wrong thing, I always suffered. Immediately there was peace and nice happiness, but later when I got caught, I only suffered. And even if I was not caught, within me there was a fear that was always lurking. I was not able to completely be happy myself. Somewhere deep down a fear was there. What if it's found out? And then I am always suffering within. So you understood Shreya, Preyo, all this is making sense. Because you have experienced these in your life. But now onwards, what we are going to understand, many of you might not have experienced it at all. And that's where now the trouble will begin. That he will start describing now Atman and its nature. So far what you did, what you are not that logic has been told to you. You're not the body, you're not the prana, you're not the mana, you're not the vijnana alone, you're not even the experience ananda. You are behind that, beyond that. You've not easy to understand. What it is, now it is beginning. And it's very subtle. That is why it says, nahi tarkavāda. Subtler than the subtlest it is. With logic alone we cannot get it. Here onwards experience must start coming in. If you are not experiencing this knowledge, then it is like undigested food, which will not add energy but only add pain to you. Therefore, now onwards, you have to become even more observant, even more sharp, even more determined. Otherwise, here onwards, Kathopanishad will not make any sense to any one of you. So what is this? This far only was difficult. Now it's getting even subtler, because subtler than the subtlest it is. It's going subtler and subtler, deeper and deeper now. So we have studied yesterday, he said that this one, tam durdarsham gudamanupravishtam guhayitam gavareshtam puranam adhyatma yoga adhigamena devam matva dhiro harsha shoko jahati. Two subtle points are there in this. One, durdarsham, it is difficult to see because it has gudamanupravishtam. It has gone deep inside somewhere and hiding somewhere. And guhahitam gavareshtam puranam, it has gone covered. Guhahitam means it's gone inside a cave and now it's covered. And gavareshtam, where it is staying right in the middle of all the misery, it means right in plain sight, like spot the hiding object, hidden object. That is the game. It's rare in front of you, but you cannot see it. Therefore, it is hidden. It is hidden, it does not mean that you have to dig a hole in your chest and find out where it is. Not finding like that. It is there in plain sight. Yet we don't see it, therefore it is as if it is hidden inside a cave. But truly it is not hidden anywhere, it's everywhere. Like a person, a grandfather who keeps his spectacles on his head and searches for the spectacles everywhere. You know the story, it's on his head. So has the spectacle gone hiding somewhere? Has the spectacle gone into a deep cave, into a hidden place where it cannot be seen? No, it is right there on his head. Unfortunately, he doesn't know it, therefore he thinks it's gone missing. That is guhahitam gavareshtam puranam. It is there, right on your head. You don't know it, that's why you are searching for it, and you think it has gone hiding somewhere. Now you can't find it. It's as simple as that. This whole Adhyatma Vidya is as available to us as the spectacle on our head. The only problem is that we are not able to see it directly, and everybody else knows it and they are laughing at it, but we are not able to understand what's going on. If only we put our hand on our head, then we realize here is a spectacle. Likewise is the problem of Adhyatma Vidya, is hiding in the plain sight. But though it is very much there in front of our eyes, because we are unable to see it, therefore it is hidden. Otherwise it's not hidden, it's open to everyone. When a Jnani entered a room, he said, what are you seeing over here? They said, like if I ask you, what are you seeing? You say, I am seeing the table, I am seeing the chair, carpet, you, me, everything else. What else? I am seeing the light and bulbs and the thing. Then if you ask the Jnani, what are you seeing? He'll say, you are seeing all these things, but are you seeing the light? Light with which all this is being visible? No, we miss the point. Do we really ever think that we are seeing the light also along with all that has been illumined by it? Does it even occur to us? When sun is shining, we take it for granted that sun's light is shining. But what do? All the things that we see with our eyes hides the fact that first thing we see is the light of the sun. After that only we see everything else. You understand the logic? But we miss noticing that first thing our eyes see is actually the light of the sun which is coming. And then only we see the objects. But in our eagerness to see the objects, we miss the very idea that the first thing to be seen by us was the light of the sun. Not the sun, the light which is now here, everywhere. We miss that, and what we start seeing the objects. So is light hiding or is it light not hiding? It's not hiding, yet it is hiding from us. Because we tend not to notice it, though it is right there. Likewise, Atman is everywhere, our self is everywhere, inside, outside and everywhere. We see everything using that self, but we don't see the self. This is the problem. That is why, though it is there in front of us, we miss noticing it. It's really not hiding anywhere. But it appears to be hiding, just as the spectacles appear to have gone missing. But they have not gone missing. It's just that we are not noticing it. Like that God or the Atman or Brahman is everywhere in everything, every single experience. Pratibodha Vivritam, says Kathopanishad. In every experience is God, and God alone who is manifesting. But we see the experience, we miss the God part of it. Like we see the objects, we miss the light part of it. So whatever is the reflection, somebody is color blind, he may see this carpet as green instead of red. So all the world is nothing but an impression that we have of it. You have to understand this point, because the next slokas are getting very deep. All the world is an impression of ours. If somebody is good to us, they are good people. Though they may be bad to somebody else, so somebody else considers them as bad person. They are friendly to us, so they are very good. They are not friendly to somebody else, the same group of people, somebody might not be happy with them and call them bad. Somebody who is completely, they'll see it's a red carpet. Somebody has a color blindness, they call it a green carpet or a blue carpet. Because they have some rods and cones missing, malfunctioning in their eyes. So the world is a perception. The perceiver is the Brahman. The perception is the world. All that we see is nothing but the reflected light. In the universe, other than blue planet, what is the nature of the rest of the universe? Does it look yellow, green, blue, orange? Earth is there. Beyond the earth, whatever is there, which color is that? You say black color. Black color is there. Black is no color at all. When there is no color, it is called black. It's nothing, because the sun's light is not meeting any object to hit and come back to our eyes. It's simply going infinitely into the space. Do you think sun is not shining in that space in between Earth and Mars? Sun's light is there also. But we don't see that light. Why? Because the light has to hit something and reflect back, then only we can see. In the space, when there are no planets, that space looks dark. But sun is shining. All these planets are getting lit up. But space in between is not getting lit up. It looks like one black thing, dark thing. And all that is seen is one red color, one blue color, one white color, one Saturn with its rings. And all the space in between is not seen. Does it mean sun's light is not going through that? Must be going through. If it's reflecting on the first planet, it is also reflecting on the fifth planet. It means it's reflecting in between also. But we don't get to see the sun's light. Why? Because it is not hitting anything and coming back to our eyes. If it hits something and comes back, then we say, it exists. Likewise, we are unable to understand Brahman unless it manifests in some way or the other. If you go back to the Chinmayananda and Tapovan Swamiji's example, Tapovan Swamiji says, get me water. And Chinmayanandaji gets a glass of water. And Tapovan Swamiji says, what did I ask you? You asked me to get water. Why did you get a glass? How do I get water without a glass? How do I experience Brahman without this body is the same logic. How do I experience sun's light without an object? The same logic. So what we are experiencing right now, as we are experiencing Brahman only. We are experiencing Brahman only, who is reflecting in you, me, and everything of the universe. Good, bad, ugly, everything is Brahman. Then why something looks good, something looks bad, something looks ugly, something looks beautiful, something looks pleasant, something looks unpleasant? If everything is Brahman, then why all these differences? Like the light of sun, which has no color of its own, when it passes through a colored glass. In old churches, temples, houses, bungalows, we'll see the color glass will be there in the windows or doors. Then when the light comes through that, what happens? It looks like a red color light or a blue color light, or even you put a bulb. Now we have got this warm white bulb. Suppose we put a blue bulb here. Has the electricity become blue? But light is blue. Light is green, light is red. Has electricity become red, green, blue? No, electricity is the same. But there is something in the bulb which has changed. That is why we are seeing a different color. That is what is mind is. Mind is like a filter through which Brahman passes. Because without mind, we have no experience at all. So Brahman passes through this filter called mind, and somebody's mind is very red colored, somebody's mind is green colored, like that different munde matir bhinna. Everybody's mind is different, and therefore we see things differently. So there is only one, we see it differently because of this issue alone. Otherwise there is no difference between you, me and anything else. Now theoretically, śāstrapramāṇa, get it, tarka, you use whatever logic I have told. So mind is that is why I say, manomulam idam jagat manaiva manushyanam karanam bandham mokshaya. When the mind is always focusing outside to the world, it will only think world exists. When the mind turns and focuses towards Brahman, it comes to know that Brahman exists. It's the problem with where we put our attention. That is all spiritual sadhana is, to take this mind, train it and teach it how to observe Brahman and not the world. How to see the light in the room and not just the objects in the room. That is why this is subtler than the subtlest knowledge. Otherwise, it's very easy to understand. The logic is good, you can easily understand, but experience is very difficult. Try to see in this room. I don't want to see walls, I don't want to see podium, I don't want to see stage, I don't want to see anybody. I want to see just the light here. Try, can you see? Not possible. Not possible. You tell, I want to cut off everything. I don't want to see any object. I just want to see plain light. You can't see. Likewise, you want to see only Brahman like this, you cannot see. That is why it's not the logic that goes beyond this. This far logic comes. Beyond that, you have to experience it. How do you experience? With eyes, ears, nose? No, it is beyond all the senses. Then, what else is the method? Adhyatma yoga is the method. Go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself. Meditate on this thought. The more you sit and meditate on thought, the more the thought will start opening and revealing itself to you. And you will come to know Brahman exists. And somebody else will say, oh, you understood Brahman exists, now prove it to me. He says, there is no way I can prove it to you. You have to find out for yourself. Like I can't eat for you, I can't tell you Brahman. So this whole idea, go to a guru, he'll touch your head and you will experience Brahman. All this doesn't exist. You have to put your own effort and find out for yourself. Guru can take you this far and show you, and then walking is your job. He can only show you the road. This is the road that goes to Chikbalapur. But walking is your part. So that part is coming now. Walking part is coming now. Showing part is getting over. Soon it will get over in few more shlokas. Then walking part will come. This is how you have to walk. Logic will be given, steps will be told, direction will be given. The walking part now has to be yours. You have to make it your own personal experience. So it says Adhyatma Yoga, Adhigamaya. This is the second subtle point. You have to go to Adhyatma Yoga, not other yoga. And you know what is Adhyatma Yoga? Adhi Atma, which is all about yourself. Sanatana Dharma is all about yourself. That's why it's the most interesting subject on earth, because it is about yourself. In a picture of a class photo, whose face you see first? Whose face you search for first in a picture which has 30 students? Your own face you search for, right? Because we are all interested in ourselves only. If somebody is making sense to us, then we are interested in them also. If somebody is not making any sense to us, we are not interested in that. So Vedanta makes sense to us because it is about ourselves. Therefore, it should be of interest to you. If you're not developing an interest in Vedanta, it only means you have no interest in seeing yourself in the class photo. It's as stupid as that. Because Vedanta is about you. All the other religions, Karma Kandas and Bhakti Kanda is about somebody else. Karma Kanda is about the society or the things around. Bhakti Marga is about God above, high in heaven. But Jnana or Vedanta is about you. Therefore, it is a very important subject. This is one subject that you must know, without which no use of knowing everything else. And knowing this, what happens? Both Harsha Shoko Jahati. See the very, very key word this is. Shoko Jahati, understandable. If you pray to God, your sorrows will be destroyed. Very good. And if you do these yajna yagas, you will attain more happiness. Understood. It is saying both happiness and sorrow, both concepts get destroyed here. In this level. At lower level, you do things to gain things. Ayushoma, Kubera Homa, all this. And you will become happier, you think. And another thing, you want to pray to God to save you from this trouble, that trouble, so your sorrows will be destroyed. That is the other way. Two things we do everything for, dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. Those are left below now. They are lower level experiences. Now he is talking about a new experience. What is this new experience? Neither happiness exists nor sorrow. Now this is something we have never experienced. Either we are happy or we are experiencing sorrow. It has never been that we are not experiencing neither. Yes, it is. When you are in deep sleep, you are experiencing neither. So you say, I don't know what it means. You know, yet you don't know. You know because in deep sleep you have no sorrow, no happiness. Yet you don't know because you are unaware of it, like the spectacles on your head, like the light in the room. You are unaware of it. It is there, yet it is not there for you. So this idea of no happiness, no sorrow does exist within you. Every night you experience it when you go to sleep. The truth is that it does exist. You are not aware, so what? Spectacles are there on the head. Everybody else is seeing it. You are not seeing it. Likewise, this idea of both happiness and sorrow coming to an end, by neither you're excited in happiness nor you're depressed in sorrow, is a concept getting introduced now. So far it was about happiness. Gaining happiness and getting rid of sorrow. Nachiketa Agni. Now what is coming? A state where neither happiness nor sorrow, both won't exist. What kind of state would that be, you will wonder, because there has never been a time when you have not experienced either of these. In fact, most of the time it is the sorrow that you experience and in bouts of happiness here and there in the world. Asukam, this lokam they talk about, Krishna says, Anityam asukam lokam. Prapyamam bhajasvamam. When you are entering this world, there is a board on the world. Welcome to the world full of misery and temporariness. And therefore remember me, and that's the only way to save yourself. So in this world where only sorrow exists, what do people do? They are looking for a world where only happiness exists. Just the opposite. Heavens. Heaven is where happiness is, we read yesterday. Shokadiko, modate swargaloke. Oh, I heard people are very happy in the swargaloka. In this loka, people are always unhappy. Their desires make them unhappy. So their earlier efforts was to get rid of this loka, which is unhappiness loka, and go to a loka which is happiness loka. Now we are talking about another state of existence where neither there is a pursuit of happiness nor there is avoidance of sorrow. Neither the effort of dukkha nivritti nor the effort of sukha prapti. Such a place we are talking about. Does it even exist is the first question. That is why Nachiketa asked, does it even exist? Ayamasti iti eke, nayamasti iti cha eke. Does such a thing exist as no happiness and no sorrow, an absolute neutral state? Those answers are coming up now, and each shloka is so deep. You have to really, the more you think, the more you'll understand how deep it is. Next shloka, 13th. Etat shrutva samparigrahya martyah pravruhya dharmyam anumetamapya samodate modaniyam hi labdhva vivritam sadma nachiketa sammanye. So our Yama goes on praising Nachiketa. He's still praising him. You remember from the last time, I never seen somebody like you. May I have more and more people like you, he says. Bhuyan Nachiketa Prishta. Let there be people who come like you. Unfortunately, I only find people who are asking me for this and that. Nobody is asking me for Brahma Jnana. So when Swami makes a statement, I keep giving you what you ask so that one day you will ask for what I have come to give. This is what it is. I keep giving money, job, wife, children, health, happy, all whatever pleasures, education. So that one day you will reach a place when you say, enough Swami, you have given enough and more, I don't need more than this. Please give me finally what you want to give me. So you gave me what I asked you to give me. Here I am ready, please give me Swami what you want to give me. That state you have to reach, then only this Upanishad will make sense. So further Nachiketa is being praised by Yama, and what does he say? He said, Etat Shrutva. He says, after listening to this, this thought that Brahman exists and this is how he exists and all that, samparigrahya martya, carefully, samparigrahya means carefully analyzing. Martya, an ordinary person also, a mortal also, carefully analyzing the nature of the world, carefully analyzing the nature of this idea, thought, etat shrutva, after hearing this, pravruhya, what happens? Segregates and understands, grasps it. Grasps what? Dharmyam anumetamapya. Dharmyam, this idea. Dharma means not the dharma of doing, non-doing. This particular knowledge is called dharma. This particular knowledge, which is anumetamapya, which is like a atom, understanding an atom structure. That is how this is so very subtle. Having heard this, having understood it, having analyzed it and grasped it, though it is very, very subtle, what he says, samodate modanam hi labdha. The one who does that, samodate, becomes happy. Because modaniyam him labdhva, he has attained the highest thing that can give happiness. See, in this world we cannot attain happiness. So this loka is not he's talking about. Then Swargaloka says that Swargaloka exists for those who do good things and then finally go and enjoy happiness. So what he is telling here, that the one who understands this knowledge and expands it, modate, he is always happy. In Swargaloka, happiness is temporary. You will come back to the Bhuloka again and then you are born again. Somebody asked me a question, whether what happens after the Swargaloka? Nothing, you come back again to earth and continue your life and again you go to Swarga or Naraka, the cycle repeats. So everybody's effort is to get rid of this cycle. So he says that is when you understand Modaniyam Yulabdha, the most enjoyable thing, the most pleasant, the nicest thing you have attained. Therefore you will also become full of happiness and joy, knowing that particular thing. And what does he say? Vivritam sadma nachiketa sammanye. Vivritam sadma means the doors open. When you go to somebody's house, they have to open the door from inside. They have bolted it from inside, not from the outside. Therefore, you knock on the door and the door opens, as Jesus says. Knock and the door shall be open. But here he says that you don't even have to knock. Once you understand this and analyze completely and choose the right over the wrong, the doors naturally open. Like in airport, when you walk, nobody is standing. The doors simply part. They observe your presence and that infrared detector, it immediately detects that you have come and opens the door. Like that, these doors just open automatically for whom? For a person who has understood this knowledge. And he's praising Nachiketa that you are one such Nachiketa. For you, the doors are opening. See there. To enter this knowledge like that, he is telling Nachiketa, this Yama, I understand that you are a person like this who have carefully understood, discarded that which is temporary and choosing that which is permanent. Here the doors of Brahman are opening. It's a symbolic way of telling that you are being welcomed into the new world of no sorrow, no happiness, or permanent happiness, whichever way you want to put it. Nachiketa, he's been listening to Yama for far too long. He's lost his patience. First you waste my time tempting me, then you waste my time praising me. So he says what? The next sloka he says, Anyatra dharma, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat, krita akritat, anyatra bhutacha, bhavyacha, yat tat pashyasi, tadvada. So simple meaning is anyatra dharmat, anyat adharmat. Dharma is different, adharma is different. This is above dharma and adharma. This is different from krita akrita. Krita means done, which deeds are done. Akrita is the reason for which is done. This is called karana and karya. Reason, cause and effect. This is beyond that I know. Anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha. It is beyond the past or the future or the present. Basically covered all the three time cycles and says, that if you know, tell me about that. Stop wasting my time teaching what is good, what is bad. Stop wasting my time teaching this is the reason for that, that is the reason for this. That which is beyond both the reasons and dharma, adharma, good, bad, teach me about that if you know that. This is a very sukshma thing. Most of the people in the world are stuck with dharma and adharma. Aren't we? All the religions have been designed to teach us what is good, what is bad. Good you do, you attain punya and therefore you will attain swarga. Bad if you do, you attain narka or you will suffer with papa. This dharma, adharma has been stuffed into our head by all the religious people. From our parents to our teachers to police, law and order. Everybody has filled our head with this idea that two things exist, dharma, dharma. And if you do this, you get this. If you do that, you get that. Means if you do good, you'll go to heaven. If you do bad, you'll go to hell. This idea has been stuffed in our head for far too long. So is it a right idea, wrong idea? The question is that you may ask. So it means that I don't have to bother about it. No, you have to bother about it. But bother about a little more than this, not just this. Just don't bother about whether you pass or fail. Bother about whether you have attained the wisdom, attained the knowledge. That is more important. Don't be a mugpot. Your idea of education is not to pass or fail. That is not dharma that you should be dealing with in this world. Something is beyond dharma. As a student, learning is more important than just passing. So it's like you study, you pass, that is dharma. You fail, that is adharma. No, beyond passing and failing, the very experience of learning is also existing. Many people get very good marks, but ask them 2 questions after the exam, nothing they can answer. Because they've just mugged and vomited it. That is how this dharma is going on. Do this puja, do this punya, go to Tirth Yatra, donate this much, you will attain punya. You did not do the Ekadashi Vrata, you ate this on that day, you use the left hand instead of the right hand. Papa for you. This is how my psychology has been controlled for ages. And we just get stuck in that. Passing and failing becomes important and learning goes out of picture.